Every time I've hit my milestones, I want more. Just like I had this experience in Rome, and I'm like, I want more discipline, because I know what discipline brings me. It brings me the confidence and the ability to make decisions and appreciate life even more. Welcome to another episode of Mindset Mastery. I'm your host, AZ Araujo, and I want to thank you for joining me today. And I also want to thank my team and Isaiah, who took over the Mindset Mastery last week. And I got to tell you, I am yearning. There's this deep-seated want and need for more and more discipline. And, you know, I've realized something as I've analyzed why I've come back with this urge. Like I yearn for it. I want more. I want to be in this place where I'm in a routine, where I'm pushing the envelope, and I'm more inspired than ever to really go after more. And I'll tell you how I discovered that and why I want that. And it's something that's been part of my growth process for years now. Nearly 10 years since I've been really just conscious of the decisions I make on a day-to-day basis, conscious of how I make my necessary deposits, my power deposit, my purpose deposit, my profits deposit. Like all these things, it really aligns to a much bigger picture. But I'm only 4 days removed, and which is unbelievable. It feels like it's already been weeks. 4 days removed from my our family and I and the Luna family out to Rome. And it was an incredible experience. And I want to share this with you. And, you know, for me, the only way I can show you, or I can tell you how important it is to stay disciplined, the only way I can show you what's right on the line for your family, for your business, of the habits that you need to take on is by doing. I can't be the guy just sitting here and telling you what to do if I'm not doing it myself. And that's what I'm committed to constantly just continue to push the envelope and showcase that with time, doing the right things, incredible things can happen. Now, this is just the beginning of where I think I'm going. And that's why I feel like there's this sense within me that I want more. And I know that there's only one way to get there. There's only one way to be able to pull off the things that I'm doing, and even the decisions I'm going to make here in the next week to 2 weeks, is my confidence within the discipline, my confidence within the habits that I take on each and every day. But I want to go ahead before I get into that lesson. I just want to share. I want to share with you, the agents of AZ & Associates, the people that I care about most, that care about this business, that are in my life, about my trip, because I was really excited. And I got to tell you, I really appreciate all the support and all the feedback that we've gotten. But we celebrated our 20-year wedding anniversary, and we did it in Rome, Italy. And this is something we've been talking about for quite some time, years in fact. But to be able to pull it off at the level we did was something that was even out of my comprehension. Like, I really didn't know what we were getting into. But with that, I do want to thank Angie and Carla and her team, including Angie, of putting this together, contacting the right people, staying in touch with them for months, making sure that everything was going to be, top level. And this is something, again, that it took a lot of planning, and for us to be in the best hotels, best venues, getting chauffeured around through the entire experience was, again, something of that was a byproduct of the discipline, of the work, and having the right people around me. I truly feel, even my staff here within the media team here, it's the best people because of the discipline I've showcased to lead the right people to help us get what we want. Even the building we're in and the moves that I'm making for my own personal home. These are all the things that are the byproduct of discipline. And that's why I'm yearning for more, because I'm sitting here just looking at the life we've created. And I even put that out there. That was the first thing. Could you believe? Who'd have thought we can create this incredible life? And, what occurred and what we did out there is something that I thought I would just be witness to. I never thought that I could actually be the person in those photos, in those videos, right? Me and my family and my daughters. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you about the entire experience. And I'm getting ahead of myself here, but it's one of those moments that has been engraved in my heart and soul. I don't think I'll ever forget. And one of the things I'm most proud of is I don't think my daughters will ever forget. And but it's how the discipline of showing up each and every day for my business allowed me to be able to celebrate at that magnitude, where it was a full-on wedding party for 8 individuals, where we had to rent an entire venue for 8 individuals, where we were, had more people waiting on us and working with us, twice the amount of individuals just for us. But it was the discipline of not just hitting a milestone and settling. I worked harder once I hit my goals, my business goals. I work harder. And that's one of the things that I want to go ahead and really stress on in our entire conversation today, is that when you have goals, is not to work your hardest to get to that goal, but once you achieve that goal, to now go even harder. That is the difference between those that hit a ceiling versus those that continue to grow and prosper exponentially. I didn't do these things when we moved into this building. I didn't say, okay, now I hit my goal, now I can settle down. No, I said, I'm going to go harder. I'm going to see what else I can create. And this is the type of mindset that I've had. And some of you have these big goals and ambitions to be a $20 million producer, a $30 million producer, a $50 million producer. What I'm saying is you're going to achieve that if that's what you work hard towards, but it's your ability to work even harder once you hit that mark that will really allow you to explore and to experience a whole new level of success. Every time I've hit my milestones, I want more. Just like I had this experience in Rome, and I'm like, I want more discipline, because I know what discipline brings me. It brings me the confidence and the ability to make decisions and appreciate life even more. It's this ritual of habits that just allows me to ride on cloud 9 on a consistent basis. And, I'm attributing all this to the discipline, the marriage, 20 years. I mean, it's a milestone for us, and to celebrate where we're more connected than ever, it's simply amazing. For me, it's one of my greatest accomplishments. But this is not the epitome. 20 years is, no, I got to work harder to make sure that I add value to this relationship. This wasn't the cherry on top. This is just another level to the next level. Like, I'm looking at 25, 30, like, what's going to happen then? I'm looking at this business like, what's going to happen in 5 years? Because I'm disciplined to go after more. Like, the more disciplined you are, the less satisfied you are. It's not a bad thing. It keeps you on track to wake up with purpose, to showcase that you got more in your abilities to create more in your life. But back to the story in Rome. So here we are, and I didn't know what to expect. Carla didn't know what to expect, and we wanted to make this a full-on wedding party. And the Lunas have been part of our life for many, many years. Most of you know the story of how I met Ruben, and it was by chance. And I think the greatest people, a lot of you, came into the organization by chance, but there's always a plan. There's always God's plan, and I didn't know back then that they would be a big part of our lives. And they're more than just friends. They're like family. They've been like family for many, many years. And to experience this with them is something incredible, And so when we got there again, it was just like we had to trust this wedding planner. And what's a little nerve-wracking is sending all these wires to someone you've never worked with, right? Or don't know much enough. I mean, we try to do our homework, and I know Angie was researching, but you're sending all these big wires, and it's like, okay, there's a big risk there, because every time Carla would go to the bank to send off these wires, they would say, are you sure? Are you sure it's going to a different country in Italy, and it's going to a different business that doesn't fall within the same parameters of businesses here in the US? Are you sure there is no refund here? Okay, so that was always sitting in the back of my mind, like, we're sending all these big wires, and and we had to trust the fact that we had the right people doing the right research to get us there. And the day of the wedding, we went all out. Carla got her dress about 2 or 3 months ago, if not longer, maybe 6 months ago. And we wanted to go again all out. And I got to tell you, like, going into the actual day where I saw different people working on the girls, the hairstylist, and I saw the photographer, the videographer, I saw the coordinator and her assistants, I saw the management at the hotel, I saw like all these individuals, and I couldn't help myself but to appreciate and almost like ask myself, are we really pulling this off? Are we really doing something like this at this magnitude? And to be in this venue where it had the best view of Rome, overlooking the Vatican. Let me go ahead and show you a picture here. Overlooking the Vatican, as you can see there on my left-hand side here. It was just an amazing sight. I sat there. I stood there for, I can't even tell you how long, just overlooking the entire city. At every direction, there was just something to see. The Vatican's in the back. The entire city of the church of the Basilica Church was in the background as well. There was a church right next to us that it was just added a different and beautiful backdrop to our experience. But I'm going to go ahead and scroll through some of these other photos. But going into this, right, where, again, we don't expect what it is. We don't know the city. So to come out of the balcony doors of this penthouse, to be, to walk into this view was just something I couldn't process. I mean, just the sheer age of this city had me really like, unable to process that old world history, right? I mean, here in the U.S., our oldest of buildings are about 300 years old. So to just always be like overly stimulated, right? Stimulated by the different buildings and statues and just all this history. And then to overlook the entire city was just mind-blowing. But here we are. We got additional photos, and these are pictures that my daughter took. And I want to get into that, okay? Because that was one of the most defining moments of my life. Let's go ahead and show some more pictures. There's our dinner. It was a private dinner, and this hotel happens to be a Michelin-rated restaurant and by a renowned chef. So we were really just catered through the entire experience, and here we are. We had the whole cake, and just really given the top-notch service throughout the entire experience. There we are cutting the cake, and let's go. And there's the actual dinner table. Chandeliers were brought out, but so when we walked into this venue. Again, I was just floored by it. So they coordinated with us on how we were going to go. Let's go ahead and hold off on those photos there. But they coordinated with us on how we were all going to come out because we had a whole ceremony, the entire ceremony. And again, we only were able to capture a few pictures, and I can't wait to get the professional videos and photos. But so they explained to us how we were going to come out. And so what's going to happen is Karina and Ruben were going to come out first, and then their daughters, Elizabeth and Julie, were to come out. And then actually, let me back up here. I was going to come out first. Okay, so I came out first, and then it was Ruben and Karina. So I greeted them, and then it was their daughters. I greeted them, and then my daughters came up. And I looked at them. And I thought I was stoic, all right? I thought I was going to go through this without a tear in my eye, I thought I was going to go through this just powerfully. But I got to tell you, like, the smile on their faces, it was a different type of smile, and it was just magnified that day. It wasn't a smile necessarily of happiness or joy. I would interpret it as a smile of just being so proud. So proud. And when I saw them, I'm getting emotional even talking about it now, but like when I saw them, it just, I couldn't contain myself. I could not contain myself. I was like, whoa, where did this come from, right? It was an unbelievable experience. It was one of those things where I think it just reflected how hard Carla and I worked for this family. And I know that it's going to leave an impression on them that's going to last their life. I mean, I think they're going to come back to this day and just remember it all, you know. It was that powerful. It shook me. It shook me to the core. So they come out, they greet me, and we're hugging away. All of us with tears in our eyes, we're just hugging, and they're telling me, Dad, we're so proud. And then one of them's kind of like poking fun. Oh, Dad, you're tearing up. My 14-year-old gives me a hard time all the time. And it was an unbelievable moment. And, try to regain my composure. And then I see my bride, my best friend. 25 years. And man, my heart was racing. I was nervous. Like, I genuinely got nervous. And she comes down and just felt so much joy in my heart and soul. And we showed a video of this. I met her. I grabbed her hand, and we went towards the middle of the table, overlooking, again, the backdrop is all of Rome, the Vatican, beautiful city. We have all these staff members looking at us. And, so everything else wasn't really coordinated. So as soon as we got to the middle of the table, we just, embraced each other. And there was some music in the background, and we just started dancing. And I felt like that she had this sigh almost of happiness, and that we had our moment there. We're both just got a little emotional during that time, and we're just embracing each other, just like in the moment. I think that's the biggest difference from our first wedding 20 years ago. It was a big wedding, but if you ask each of us, I don't think we remember a whole lot, because I think we were too caught up on trying to cater to all our guests, right? That we didn't spend enough time together. I think we spent so much time trying to greet everybody and entertain everybody that we didn't really sit in that moment. And to be in that moment, to be present in that moment, to be fully aware of what's going on, the environment, the people, the energy, the music, the physical touch, it just resonated with both of us. And we overlooked the city, and it was just simply amazing. But before that, as they were getting everything set up, we went through our wedding vows. Again, we had something prepared. And, one thing that Carla said is it's no longer, a marriage of love. It's beyond that, right? It's a marriage of purpose. And I got to tell you, it was so good to hear her words and to see the impact that we've made on each other. So we went through the whole process of going through the vows and things of that nature. But right before that, as they were setting up the hotel, we took a little stroll through right in the middle of Rome. And the people were absolutely incredible there. They were just so supportive. It reached a point as we were walking through the streets of Rome that they started cheering loudly for us. All these Italian individuals, these Italian locals. And there was just genuine joy and happiness that they were sharing with us. And I felt like we were like Moses in a way, where we were parting the Red Sea. Anywhere we walked, people just like were just so genuine. They would do anything and everything just to make the whole experience even better. And with that, we celebrated through the night. We had an incredible dinner, and again, we looked at each other like, are we really pulling this off? Are we really here? And again, I was floored by the experience. It was top notch. It was something that I never experienced. And I tell you, it's one of those things where I'm going to remember this for the rest of my life. And again, as I start analyzing what it was that it took to get there, it's not just renewing our vows or celebrating another year marriage. It's the depth of it all. It's the genuine companionship, the friendship that we've built. I felt so good, even being in my suit. I was like, that's discipline. It fit like a glove. That's the byproduct of discipline. The way my daughters looked at us, it was engaged. It was such a great connection. That was the byproduct of discipline, of fighting for their love, of fighting for them not to be influenced by others more than they're being influenced by us. It's us stepping in and having the hard conversations. The way Carla and I embraced, that's a lot of years of hard work developing ourselves. That's discipline. And this was all the byproduct of that. So as I'm flying home, I'm wanting to get back to this routine, because I'm like, okay, if I'm disciplined to get this, I wonder what more discipline would do. That's where my mind headed. I wonder what more commitment would do to my life, because I love the way this feels. I love my life. I love what I've created, and I'm fired up. I'm not burnt out. I've been in the game 20 years, and I'm fired up. I'm not waiting for retirement. I'm fired up because discipline wants you to continue to improve on yourself. So as I'm getting back, I'm like, okay, I need to make sure that my routines are in order. I need to make sure that I'm eating the right foods. By the way, I've had more pizza during that time than I've ever had in my entire life. Okay, I will admit to that. But it's this whole notion of getting back to a routine and refining it. Getting back to the routine and refining it. So I spent my Sunday evening refining my routine, getting to the things that got me there to begin with, making sure that I'm planning for something much greater. Because with discipline comes confidence. With discipline, you're able to make decisions, and you're able to navigate through the highs and lows of the byproduct of the work. Like with greater ambitions, with greater risks comes rewards, right? And also come consequences. But do you have the emotional capacity to be able to handle them? I had the emotional capacity to be present during that time. That's why I think it struck me so deeply. It hit me to the core because of my emotional maturity and capacity to take that on. I was connected. I was there 100%. And I'm prepared. Discipline allows you to prepare for the highs and lows. I'm prepared for both the challenges and the rewards. I'm prepared to really take on this trip to the fullest capacity. And the big decisions that I had to make to get there. It's the greatest investment I ever made. Discipline allows you to thoroughly feel the appreciation for the life you've created. Okay, this wasn't about just celebrating another year, because we've done many of those years too, where we thought that the success of our marriage was just simply the time we spent together, the time we had to showcase. Like our 10-year anniversary, we were proud, but things were falling apart. just wasn't another year. But that requires extreme levels of discipline. Now, one thing that I want to emphasize here is discipline allows you, okay? Discipline will condition you to work harder when your goals are met. And that is the difference between a $30 million producer and a $5 million producer. A $30 million producer continues to push the envelope after they meet their goals. They work harder after they meet their goals. 5 to 10 will work hard up to the goal. And then they'll take their ease. Then they'll feel accomplished. And that's at the moment things begin to unravel and erode. So it's a constant rat race where things don't seem to progress. And it's because of the lack of discipline. We all have the abilities to create that type of business. But don't just work hard meeting your goals. It's like, what are you going to do after you meet your goals? That's when you go even harder. I just got a glimpse of what I want. I want more. And I realized, hey, there's, discipline plus time creates, this thing called the compound effect, and it magnifies your life. So guess what? As soon as I'm off the plane and I settle for bed at 12:30 at night, right? I'm right back in the gym at 4 o'clock in the morning. I said, I don't have time to take a week to reacclimate to this world, to my life. I'm conditioned to get right back into it. So as I settle at 12:30, I'm up again at 4 o'clock in the morning to do what I do, because I know the byproduct of this, and I want to magnify it more and more. I don't want to trip up what I've got going on. So I got to work harder now. I will work harder now. You will see more from me now. That's what it does. And I'm hoping that whatever accomplishments you're making, just know that that's just the beginning of the hard work. At that point, you refine the discipline, you refine your abilities to make the necessary deposits. How can you get better? How can you fine-tune your eating, your marketing? How can you fine-tune how you speak with your spouse, with your kids? I realize it. It's like, it's there. It's always been there. And I'm going to work harder to hit my milestones. And listen, discipline, it comes with a lot of responsibility, because, yeah, you'll reach a point where you can't sit on your laurels. You can't take your ease. But the satisfaction it brings you, it's indescribable, because you just continue to gain when most people begin to erode. You will continue to gain when most will begin to erode. And I know I've worked hard to this point, but it's going to be fractional to what I got up my sleeve. Like, I really want more, and I want you guys to come along with me of what is possible in our lives. What is possible in your life? So I want you guys to think about something, because, and this is something that we're going to be discussing here in the next few weeks. Last year we talked about winter is coming for our business. And yeah, it's been, the snow has been piling up. Things are slower. It's harder to navigate through this, but 2024, guys, like, I want to prepare you. There's going to be an ice age, meaning that it's going to get even harder. And many agents are going to become extinct. And now more than ever, I'm imploring you to do the things that will give you the unfair advantage. To do things so that you're able to see the opportunities that are truly there. It's going to be the ice age for the vast majority, but not for the real players. Discipline now is more important than ever. Staying committed to simple tasks is more important than ever. It's going to give you the confidence you're going to need. It's going to give you the energy and the hope you're going to need to be able to navigate through the storm. Things are going to get tougher, and there's so much uncertainty going on, but this is not meant to scare you. That I want you to take this as a way to have a conviction to get better about your processes, get better about your marketing, your consistency, to have the confidence to navigate through all of this powerfully. Because it's no longer just winter is coming. We're going to be hitting an ice age. So I know all of you have worked hard to get to this point, but don't just settle to pay your bills. Don't just settle to survive. You have the opportunity to thrive exponentially. But it's going to require an extreme level of discipline. And we have it all blueprinted for you. You know what you have to do. You're going to have to be in a place of power and purpose to get through all of this. But there's big rewards on the other side. And when those challenges come, you'll be able to do that with full confidence. So I hope that my story here inspires you to go after more. And again, I'm not saying that this is the peak of what I'm going to create. I'm just sharing my stories as I go along. And my stories are very different now than they were 5 years ago, 10 years ago. But one thing that you'll notice is my stories are evolving. The level that I'm able to deliver is evolving. So guys, take this and embrace it. You're able to do this as well. And let's go ahead and take on final pictures here. And here we are with my daughter. It's a very proud moment as we're all walking hand in hand. My 18-year-old, my 14-year-old. I got to tell you, man, it's an unbelievable experience. What else do we have here? Okay, here's what with the Luna family. It was a sight to see. A sight to see. And I'll read any comments that we have here. What do we got? And again, I want to just thank you all for joining me for this episode of Mindset Mastery. And it's really hard for me to no finishes, just another checkpoint. Yes. And we've talked about this, right? And I still remember our conversations, Rudy, about, we talked about this very, this very subject was like just yearning for more discipline. And the more discipline you bring on, the bigger the choices you're able to make, like the confidence that comes along with it, right? Just another checkpoint, continue to push ourselves to pursue continuous growth in every aspect. If this level of discipline got us to this point, what will more discipline, more consistency bring, man? That was like resonating loudly in my mind over and over. And I couldn't wait. And I started cleaning up, just my diets, what I want to do with my journaling. I just really started getting into the moment of, if this is what got me to this point, I wonder more, because we all can improve. And, the moves that you've made, Rudy, recently getting your own branch office and really just taking on those endeavors is because of your hard work and discipline, man. And that alone will get you through and help you navigate through any storm. So thank you for being a student to that, man, and inspiring me. Thank you for sharing this beautiful story with us, Nora. I appreciate you. AZ from Leonard. Carla, congratulations on reaching this incredible milestone. Your 20 years together are a testament to the strength of your love and depth of your commitment. Cheers to many more anniversaries. Thank you so much. I do appreciate our conversation about discipline was a pivotal moment for me. I appreciate you. Appreciate you too, Rudy. And guys, I hope this inspires you to go after it with full conviction. Let's just go after. Let's get it. A nice age is approaching, and there's going to be a lot of opportunities as well. But you got to be disciplined to be able to see them. So, guys, thanks again for joining me for this episode of Mindset Mastery. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye now. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Badass Agents Podcast, brought to you by AZ & Associates and Do the Work Coaching and Consulting. You can watch this and other episodes by subscribing to our channel on YouTube or by visiting us directly at badassagents.com. And of course, you can listen to this episode and many others on your preferred podcast provider.